So in other words, it is very difficult for you to even defend this particular list in the sense that the 3 women there, you agree that it is not representative of the women who voted in this election.
Why? Why will you say that? Why is it not? Why is it not?
Because you're asking me to wait for the next list.
Because
that's what you're saying.
You know what we talk about on the ministerial list is very clear. We have one from each state. That is it.
As required by law.
By law. So we still have about 15 more names to come on board, or 20 more names to come on board. And I said to you, the last government, did they put all the women at one go? They were coming in different stages. And being a minister or not being a minister is not the only way to serve in government. There are places, Dora became a star, the late Dora became a star in NAFDAC, not as a minister. There are places you could make better impact than being a minister. So the issue of minister is not something that women should carry placard about, or the youth to say we want to go on the protest about.
You know, you've said that, after all, the PDP did not have all their ministers at the onset.
Yeah.
They didn't have all the women in one go.
Yeah.
You know, so perhaps justifying what's going on now. But what then is the change that the party is bringing in now?
I mean, the change has started from the day the president got into office. I can tell you now, my generator is no more working.
No. I mean, with respect to with respect to this ministerial list and how they went about it and the persons who are in that list.
I told you it's a collective responsibility. All I want you to tell me is that tell me somebody.
No, but the PDP too said there too was a collective responsibility.
Of course,
they also brought people who had been there before. They also brought people who they say were politicians.
We did not go at them like this from the beginning of their putting a list together. So I mean, at the end of the day, we went over after them because of the failure of their government. That is what we did. Let them wait for this government. Let them give us a midterm assessment of this government. Then they can talk. Let the ministers start working. The president so far has been working, right? It's been a pass mark for the president so far. Do you understand me? For his advisors so far, it's been a pass mark. Initially, the president was sick. Now he's toxic. Now, what next? He employed all northerners around him. Now there's a list of cooperative Nigerian people. It's still a problem. We are not bothered or distracted by their constructive criticism. It's a focused government. They have to talk because they are opposition, not the problem. But if they come with constructive criticism, we take them on.
Yeah, but how do you then sift? Because people think that's going to be a problem for you. How do you then sift, you know, if you say, oh, this is opposition voices, in the sense that opposition should count, they're perhaps looking at things from a different perspective that you possibly haven't considered them. But there are people who might share the view of the opposition and are not opposition. How do you then, if you dismiss, you know, what the PDP has to say and say, well, they're just the PDP making noise, what about people who share the opinion of the PDP and are not members of the PDP?
What opinion are you talking about? That these ministers will not move Nigeria forward? Let them wait and find out. That is the bottom line.
I'll come back to the youth thing. I come back to the youth. Trying to go through all of that.
Is giving me out. Maybe I'm a youth.
No. Well, I think almost everyone is having the grey now. We're spotting grey. But looking at the resume of so many people, you just realize that some of these people have been around since in fact, in their 20s. For instance, Mr. Bayoshitu was the youngest in the parliament.
Of course,
youngest in the parliament, you know, in the old Oyo State.
That's right.
Then, and because he went on to become commissioner in his 30s and all that. So for someone who was there at age 26, as one of the youngest in parliament then, he's still coming. And some of these people were also there in their 30s and even early 40s. So the young persons are asking, why is it that not just one person that can best fit their category and say the APC truly has changed from the status quo, which wasn't fantastic for the Nigerian youth.
Brilliant submission, but I'll be very objective to answer your question. When Shitu was in the parliament then, it was a youth. When he was a commissioner, he was a youth. So when he's an adult now, it should stop working. It's no more relevant. Emeka Chikelu was taken by OBJ from the House of Parliament and made a Minister of Information almost 13 years ago. If you see Emeka coming out now in the next 4 years to be a governor, will you tell him it's because he was a minister Some years he's no more relevant. Let us be real. How do people are talking
maybe you're
about?
getting it wrong. No one has said that. No one is saying that they are irrelevant.
Okay.
People are saying inclusion. We're talking about an inclusive government. It doesn't show
that
this is an all-inclusive
list. The speaker there is a 32-year-old man. There are categories, there are stages. You see, the level of exposure, there are things you can't handle. Governance is a big business. So people get there, they get lost.
Yet we had someone who ruled the country at
35?
With what? As a what? As an elected leader or as a military dictator?
No, but what is...
You have to look at the difference.
What is the age that people can contest presidency?
Now?
Yeah.
Maybe 35, 30. But, I mean, are you telling me you are going to vote for a 30-year-old guy as Nigerian president? Let that time come.
At least in his 30s, he was able to put the country together.
As a military, when there are no people like you,
it doesn't matter.
It does matter.
In his 30s,
this is a democracy.
He was able to put the country together. And that's why we still have one Nigeria. So, till this moment, we haven't seen a young person, and we thought the APC was going to change that.
We are there to support him and put him through, put the country together.
And they were all young then. Even Chief Obafemi was
How young was he then? In his 30s?
Very young.
Or in his 50s?
He was very young.
Well, he was in his 50s, for crying out loud. All these things are documented.
When he started, he was very young. When he started,
Awolowo started it from the region to the center. The youth, like I tell you, go to the House of Assembly, go to the Parliament, go to the Senate. It's a breathing ground. Politics is not about starting from the top.
Don't you think that the APC made a mistake? Let's correct the mistake with the second list coming. Put more young people, put more women.
You see, one thing we should realize is that I don't agree with that statement with the APC made a mistake. The president has been elected by Nigerians, right?
Okay, the president
saddled with the responsibility to govern this country. Is an APC member. The APC leadership will be consultation and we come out like what they have done now, and we're on track.
So does that suggest that all the young people who are telling us here that they don't think that they are represented now, they should just hang on?
No.
Till when?
No. I'm not telling. The point is that their representation at different levels of government. Being at the federal level of government, right, does not make you make a better impact to the people than be at where you should be to be more relevant to the people. That is the truth. Because the issue of age is wisdom. It's not about, nobody knows it all, right? You may have a very competent youth, 32-year-old guy, as your PA. How old was Patrick Tomi? He was in the Shagari's government. If you bring him now, will you make a reference to that time? And because when he was there now, he should not be there again?
But 32-year-olds are not only good for PAs.
Well, some of them have been very good for PA. Now, Ipaye now, who is now chief of staff to the vice president, you understand me, was his PA when he was commissioner for justice.
So
Lagos.
I think you just
it's a breeding ground.